Welcome to DAT Podcast, a place for digital age teachers to talk DAT talk about teaching in the 21st century. Here, we welcome all educators, ranging from those who don't know how to right-click to those who could probably build their own computers themselves. With technology now being ubiquitous in our schools, we have no choice but to accept the reality that nowadays, we're all in this together. We are here to guide you through the world of educational technology and all it has to offer to help you navigate teaching in the digital age we live in. I'm Marcus Stein, Director of Professional Development with AXI Education Solutions, an education technology company in Louisiana.
And I am Dr. Sara Dempster, Assistant Professor of Education and Educational Technology Specialist. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Episode 4. This episode will focus on hacks for teachers.
Yeah, think of it like this. You know those videos on Facebook that show you how you've been doing something all wrong. My favorite is the cutting board hack. So after you chop your vegetables or whatever, slide them into the pot through the hole that we use as a handle. Yeah, that's actually a hole so you can put the veggies. Yeah. It changed my life. Like, I don't spill anymore when I cook on the 3 times a year that I actually cook.
That's actually pretty smart. So my current favorite is the rope tie hair curling hack. You wrap your hair around a rope tie while it is damp and then let it dry. And when you unwrap it, you get these natural beachy curls without any damage from heat. The first time I tried it, I was literally shook when I unwrapped my hair. It works so good.
Okay, now you need to do a video of how it comes out because that's definitely one of those hack videos I've seen. And I've been a skeptic. And I also have no hair. So try that. I want to see that. I also like that I'm not crazy and I'm not the only person. I like that I'm not the only person watching these videos, right? I'm glad that you and I are in this together. So This episode is going to apply life hack ideas like those, but to the classroom.
One of my life mottos is to work smarter, not harder. So I'm excited that we get to share some of our favorite hacks with you in this episode. Before we get into story time, we would like to ask you to send us any topics you would like us to discuss in a future episode. We are here to help and support you, so let us know what you need to hear from us.
Yes, and if you ever have like an aha moment or a burning idea that you want to discuss while listening, like chime in, datpodcast.com. Send us a message.
My story about a hack is about finding videos already created that you can use instead of creating them yourself. When I first started teaching, I found myself creating so many screencasts. Some of them went along with slides presentations, others were just showing students how to use the features of a tech tool. Then one day, I needed to make a screencast explaining how to make a screencast, which is kind of hard to do while using the screencasting software because you can't show the controls in the video that you are recording. So I did a search on YouTube for tutorials that showed students how to use screencastomatic, and I discovered something really awesome. Screencastomatic actually has a YouTube channel with tons of videos that show you how to use the different features of the tool. And let me tell you, the videos on their channel are so much better than anything I could ever create. They literally have employees who get paid to create these videos. So why would I even try to create them myself? Now, I just find the most relevant video and share it with my students and then move on with my life. There are so many edtech companies that have their own YouTube channels where they publish content about how to use their tool. And they're usually pretty great at marketing their tool and showing how to use its features. You can find the Google for Education channel where there are playlists focused on using Google tools for collaboration, productivity, and other topics. The Kahoot channel showcases how to use the new features as they are released. If your district uses Edulastic, their channel has tutorials walking you through creating assessments or viewing progress data. So, the next time you are adopting a new tool, look for a YouTube channel created by the company to find videos that help you get started or videos that help students understand how to use the tool for your class. This is especially helpful with virtual learning. I also recommend checking to see if the channel has playlists. Many of these companies have curated videos focused on different aspects of the tool or different topics. So basically, stop reinventing the wheel with tutorial videos. Save yourself some time and check to see if a tutorial video has already been created by checking on YouTube or even the website for that tool. If you can't find something already created that works for you, that is when you spend your time creating a video yourself.
Preach. Preach, girl. Preach, girl. This whole time, I'm like applauding with glee because that is the ultimate time saving hack. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Dempster. Thank you. You can go ahead and do a curtsy now. All right. My story about a hack is a shout out to one of my best friends, Professor Charles Miller. He's a sociology professor at Nunez College in Chalmette. He also leads the Quality Enhancement Plan initiative on that campus. He's also a PhD candidate, so he'll be Dr. Charles Miller soon. I mean, I love this guy. Sorry. It's not about him. Well, sort of. But one day, in the middle of me having the time of my life on a webinar, I am coaching and loving the concept I was teaching. I believe we were doing instructional strategies that you could translate in a virtual environment. So I was like teaching my tail off. Well, I noticed my phone is illuminating a lot. And I noticed, because he's one of my favorites, that it's Charles. And I had to stay focused on my webinar, so I ignored him for about an hour and a half. And when I finished the webinar, the text messages were hilarious. I mean, it was a series of Marcus, help. Marcus, I need to convert a PDF to an editable document. Marcus, I need it done today because this is the only day I can work on this. Marcus, please, I need a friend. I need a friend favor now. The original author of the PDF is no longer on campus. I can't ask him or her for the editable version. I'm emailing it to you now. Can you please work your magic and make this editable? I'm sorry, Charles. I do realize that trying to edit like an antiquated older document is frustrating, especially if you work in a role like him as the Quality Enhancement Plan initiative guy. Like, if you're in charge of any sort of initiative or project and somebody hands you this bucket of files from the previous person, you may want to edit some of that stuff. So while I laugh because this is Charles and like I had to ignore him, this is serious, okay? So this is how I handled it. I downloaded the PDF from Charles's email, and then I found the file on my computer, and then I right-click and chose to open with Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word.
Word?
Oh
No.
Okay, look. Who downloads anything anymore, right? Like, who actually uses a software program anymore? Like, everybody works in the cloud now. Everybody works, from some website now. However, there is magic in software programs because they can do things that web-based programs cannot. So, I have the latest version of Microsoft Office on my PC. So yes, this is a Windows trick. It should work in Microsoft Word on a Windows computer, like Word version 15 onward, with better conversion in the latest version, the version that I have. And so what I did is the file that Charles sent me, this PDF, I right-clicked on it and I chose Open with Microsoft Word. And it opened. Like, it takes a second or two. You see the conversion happening, but it opened. And it was an editable document. So I emailed the document version back to Professor Miller. And I also attached a video of me doing the steps. You got to teach them how to fish, y'all. I love you, Charles, but I don't want you emailing me and blowing up my phone every time you want to convert a PDF to a Word document, girl. Just saying.
Yes, I love showing people how to do things for themselves so that they can build their technology confidence. Y'all can do more than you think, I promise. Don't be scared to try. All right, my next hack is scripted recordings with screencastomatic. This one is a little more advanced and not totally free, But if you find yourself creating tons of screencasts, I highly recommend checking out the scripted recordings feature in Screencast-O-Matic. Rather than trying to explain your topic and record your screen at the same time, you type out a script with different sections and record your audio first. Once your audio is recorded, the program walks you through recording a video for each part of your screencast. You can click through slides, demonstrate how to use a tool while listening to the audio you already recorded. Then when you are done, it combines everything together in one seamless video. It may seem like it would take longer to record things separately, but I swear that this has helped me be so much faster at creating screencasts that come out even better than before. The quality is higher when creating a screencast this way because I'm not fumbling words or having awkward pauses throughout the video. Being able to focus on each aspect at one time just makes it easier to create a really great video. I have some examples in the show notes that I created using this feature, and I promise you that they would not be nearly as professional as if I had tried to record everything at one time. I really hate to share something that isn't free, but I can't say enough good things about Screencast-O-Matic and the fact that it really does help me work smarter, not harder, like I mentioned before. There are individual and school account options, so if you are interested, try talking to your administration about how this tool could help you and your colleagues.
Wait, whoa. This whole time, I'm sitting there like the meme with like the mathematical equations on the face, and the lady is just like super confused. I never thought to do this. So what you're saying is you basically just talk it through like you and I are doing on a podcast. And then when you go into Screencast-O-Matic to do the video, you put in some headphones and you listen to yourself walking through the steps and you're just clicking.
Yep.
Huh.
There's something magical about it. I swear. It's a really great setup.
I think what makes it so magical is that you're focusing on the two most important things separately. Like, it's really important that you're very clear with your directions. It's also really important that you click the right things. Ooh, okay. Okay, Dr. Dempster. Okay.
Yes, and it forces me to really think about what I'm trying to say before I even think about what I'm showing on the screen.
I am very
it makes me better.
I'm speechless, and you know that's never a thing for me.
Ding!
Moving on into the receipts segment. So y'all, while there isn't any direct research on the concept of a teacher hack or the concept of a teacher reclaiming his or her time, there are lots of information about what a teacher could or should do if we had more time. So, this episode's receipts are all about how this reclaimed time can be used for self-care and to avoid teacher burnout. All right, y'all, this first one is an article. In March 2019, American University did a really good job of synthesizing the current research on teacher burnout. The article states, the term burnout in a professional sense refers to the consequences of severe stress and high ideals in helping professions, where people end up exhausted, listless, and unable to cope, according to a report from the Institute for Quality and Efficiency in Healthcare. And y'all, the truth is, now with the burden of managing a classroom in the COVID world, it's just one more thing adding to teacher burnout. It's another thing tipping teachers to the edge of quitting. Because in that same article, American University states that in a 2018 Gallup report that explored the primary reasons teachers chose to leave, 29% left because of personal reasons, like they had to go. They had health, they were moving, I got it. But of the 71% remaining who left teaching, 16% were involuntarily let go, so they was fired, while 84% left voluntarily. Those who left voluntarily had the following two main reasons. Can you guess? Why would teachers leave? This is 2018. To seek career development or advancement, like I'm ready to move on to blank, or to seek improved pay or benefits. I need more money. So with that being said, you gotta try some hacks. You gotta look for shortcuts. You gotta message us asking for a quicker way. Like, please go to datpodcast.com and message us because it works. you're gonna end up like me and Sara with time to spare to do a podcast, maybe. I mean, in this article affirms that we suggest you should do some self-care, like with this free time, with this hack mentality, you can make sure you're good. Even if you shave off 5 minutes of your day's work, keep that time for you so that you don't burn out. We need good, experienced educators. Like, we cannot be burning out. Like, good teachers, we are actually a rare breed. Like, the people who are really called to do this work. And I don't want us leaving. So in the show notes, I'm going to attach that and another article for you. This other article is published by Lindsay Thompson. It was on the National Education Association website. This is from January 2019. And she gives us some ideas of what we could do with some free time. So she says, with some free time, you can set healthy boundaries for yourself. I like that. Take a pause. Really set, am I doing too much? Am I not doing too much? She also says we can remind ourselves that not everything is on us. When you get that pause, take a minute and realize that you don't have to do everything. She goes on to say we can use exercise as an outlet. So if you got 3 minutes, do some TikToking, do some dancing, let it out. And then she also says to allow yourself to take time off. If in that moment you really need to walk away, take a minute. And know that this is not an exhaustive list. It's just a starting point. It's just a reason for you to hack your teacher life so you can get this time back, so you can find your peace, so you can take care of yourself. So again, friends, the research isn't much on a teacher hack. It's on taking care of you with this time you saved. And for Sara and I, clearly, we chose to get creative.
Yes, I love that you have talked about this because it is so important. Please take some time for you and focus on yourself. Your family, friends, and your students need you happy and healthy.
Thank you. Preach. You preaching today, girl. I'm just saying. I'm feeling it. All right, friends. Let's get into We Tried It. In this segment, we share things we tried first so that you don't have to. We give our honest opinion and discuss how this tool or strategy helped us to solve a problem we faced recently. And in this episode, we'll share some things we've tried that work as teacher hacks or work for self-care or relate to both. So the first hack I think we should talk about is how you're able to hear us so well. If you find yourself recording instructional videos or starting your own podcast, you may want your audience to hear you really well, like without echoes, without background noise, and without having to jump into some fancy editing software to adjust your voice. I'll go first. This is my hack. I have blankets hanging on my walls right now, like a giant adult tent. I use command strips as hooks, and then I put ring clips, like you would use for like curtains, onto the blankets, and I hook them around the room. I also bought a couple of bungee cords so that I could actually like attach a blanket from one side of the room to the other. And the truth is, I got 6 moving blankets on Amazon for $30-$40. I got a pack of command strips for $10. I got some hooks and bungees for maybe $15-ish. And so I'll make a little shopping list in the show notes, but that's what I use to convert my space, this room at my house, into a sound booth with no permanent damage to my walls, and everything packs up and stows away when I'm done. And so, yeah, that's how I hacked it. Sara, how did you hack?
I'm just picturing
I'm gonna take a picture. Okay?
Yes, please.
It's so cute. It looked like an adult tent.
So, my audio is brought to you by a snowball microphone from Blue Mics, very appropriately named because it is a little sphere that looks like a snowball. To be honest, I felt kind of silly when I ordered this because it kind of looks like a toy. And I thought, there's no way this $50 mic from Target could actually be good quality. Well, I was so wrong. My little snowball does it all, and I never have to worry about the audio quality when recording the podcast, making screencasts, or recording any other audio. Check the show notes for a link to the version I have. The second part of my hack for great audio quality is my closet, believe it or not. I literally sit in the closet to record audio because my clothes act as sound panels so that there's no echo. It is also just a great space where I can really focus on what we are doing and not be distracted by anything
Well, girl,
else.
that's good for you. You know I'm not going back in the closet. Oh, no, ma'am. But good hack, just not for me. Okay, I got another one. So this next teacher hack involves repurposing your document camera. I would venture to say that almost every teacher's classroom has some sort of display in the front of the room, right? So a projector or a Promethean board or a smart board, okay? And there's some sort of computer connected to that display. Well, check your classroom for a USB-powered document camera. Instead of using the short 2 to 3 foot cable that comes with the document camera, you can replace it with a longer one. Just bring the cable to Best Buy or Office Depot and tell them you want to buy a longer one. Alternatively, you can buy a USB extender and make the existing USB connection longer. Once you have the longer USB situation, you can run the document camera from your computer in the front to the back of the room. And when you press present in your Zoom or Google Meet or Microsoft Teams meeting, your audience will be able to see the content you choose to present from your computer connected to the display, but they'll also be able to see you from your document camera that you put way in the back of the room. You could also do the same thing with a webcam. The trick is to get the USB cable longer so you can run your camera to the back of the room and just do your thing.
Wait, that is so smart. I know so many teachers and professors who could really use this in their classrooms.
Y'all welcome.
Genius. My next hack is the Grammarly Chrome extension. Do yourself a favor and download this immediately. It is completely free and works with Gmail, any text editing section on a website, and in Google Docs, Slides, and all the Google tools. This tool is not just for spelling and punctuation. Grammarly catches things that I would never even notice sometimes. And if you're anything like me and you sometimes struggle with writing while juggling multiple tasks at once and your brain moves too fast while you're trying to type things out, Grammarly is your new best friend. It really helps me with crafting professional emails, assignment instructions, and so much more. If you are a graduate student, I highly recommend investing in Grammarly Premium to get access to the really awesome editing features that can scan your work and let you know if you are using a word too many times, using passive voice too much, which is something that Grammarly throws a lot of shade at me for, or even if your writing is too similar to some of the sources you've used. This tool saved me so much while working on my dissertation and other assignments for my doctorate classes. I continue to use this when writing grants and other professional documents that I work on. This tool is so useful for editing your writing because it will catch things that you might miss when reviewing your own writing. And it also helps your friends by not having to ask them to proofread things as much because Grammarly is just that good. When people ask me to proofread things for them, I actually drop their work into Grammarly and share the suggestions because it literally takes seconds to get feedback. And it's much more useful if you use your own writing because Grammarly doesn't just point out mistakes or suggest changes. It provides suggestions for alternative words, sentence structure, or other helpful tips to improve your writing. I really can't say enough good things about this tool. Seriously. Download and set up the extension or visit their website to get the premium features now and thank me later.
Okay. I am feeling you on that one. I am a former English teacher, and so I'm a bit like of a classic when it comes to like proofing my own stuff. But in the spirit of saving time and maintaining our teachers' sanity, I mean, smart idea. Thanks, Dr. Dempster. You really are on a roll. All right, friends. The greatest testament to we tried it and this spirit of just trying something first is this actual podcast. It's like we combine the self-care element of expression and creativity with a productive work ethic to do something that is both work and play. So at a time when I felt lonely It lacked motivation. Thanks, COVID. Sara and I both pivoted to something that felt very DIY. Like, we can do this. And this show has really just given me the boost to push through working at the computer for hours.
Yes, I feel like we both really needed this podcast to help us get through the beginning of the COVID pandemic. I really needed an outlet for my thoughts and ideas after months of working on my dissertation and finally being done with it. I felt inspired to work on something meaningful and definitely needed something to fill the post-dissertation COVID work-from-home void.
Yeah, so the spirit of Dr. Dempster and Marcus, get creative. Get creative, y'all. Channel this moment. Closing things out and sending us home with a positive note is a nod to the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who passed this week. In an interview discussing her mom, she said, "Don't be distracted by emotions like anger, envy, and resentment. These just zap energy and waste time." And I think that's a good way to think about this time in education. It's whack. Decisions are being made, and many of you are teaching in a space you never agreed to work in, and yet you're doing it and thriving. You are slaying it. Focusing on your jobs, which is educating these kids. So the next time you find yourself rolling your eyes at school or venting for an hour to your homegirl about the lame, non-existent COVID precautions your school put in place, remove the anger, envy, and resentment. Pivot and focus on ingenuity, passion, and drive. We've got this. We've got this. We just can't let our energy get zapped by the things we can't control. And if we do have to stand up for ourselves and advocate for what we know is best, RBG gives us more insight from her 2015 talk at a Harvard women's luncheon. She said, "Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you." So if you're in a place to speak up, like Dr. Dempster and I, do it in a better way. Do it in a way that removes those sharp, stabbing emotions like anger and focus on ingenuity, passion, and drive.
I love that so much. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Friends, we have reached the end of episode 4. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to check out the show notes for tons of links and information about everything we talked about in this episode. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Links and usernames are in the show notes. Leave us a like, comment, tweet, or love at any time.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We hope you're going to come back next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.